Chapter 166, Samurai Louds Part 7. The Brave 12 and the Cursed Lava Monster. We the Brave 12 were walking through a cold meadow and it was freezing cold. As we were walking through the meadow we heard a mysterious voice call us. Come. Me, what was that? Vince, it was probably nothing. We continued on and we heard the voice again. Come. Sakura, there it is again. Fu, yet. We went on and we heard it again. Come to me. Naruto, where is that voice coming from? Lincoln, I don't know. We went on and the voice was calling us again. Come. Jack, who is there? We saw an owl come out of the trees. We pressed on and the voice called us some more. Come. 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 We unsheathed our swords and stood ready. Jack, show yourself. Me, come on out. Voice, come to me. Jack, coward. We ran and the voice still beckoned us. We then came across a burned and charred landscape. Me, what happened here? Lily, this whole land is burned and totally desolate. Lainey picked up the soil and it was all ash. Lainey, this land was burned a few millennia ago. Jack, yes. Something evil has ravaged these lands. A very familiar evil. Very, and I have a very strong feeling that it was Aku that did this. Me too. Voice, yes. Come to me. We pressed on and we saw lots of old rusted out Viking ships and the skeletons of Viking people that have been dead for thousands of years. Lisa, fascinating. These Viking ships have been here for 9,000 years even after the Dark Ages had passed. Jack, I am very familiar with the Vikings. They taught me their fighting styles. Naruto, what caused all these Vikings to perish? Fu, Aku probably. Vince, yet. Up ahead at a nearby mountain we saw a light coming from the top and we knew that that's where the voice was coming from. Voice, come. We went to the mountain and got to the bottom and climbed up and we went into a cave that went down into the mountain. Voice, come. Me, this could be a trap or a test. We step onto the floor and numerous spears were thrown at us and we dodged all of them and Lily grabbed most of them. The walls into the next room were closing and I slashed a spike and left an opening. We were in the next room. Voice, come. Me, the voice is calling us further in. Sakura, yet. But what does he take us for? The floor was rising and raising us towards the ceiling and the ceiling was loaded with stalactites ready to impale us. Me, a fool we've been. We ran and got into the next room as the cave closed. We then saw another room. Voice, come. Me, the voice is still calling us. Lisa, look at this. Lisa showed us a skeleton of a Viking soldier. Me, looks like he's been here for a while. Lily, yet. Lincoln, what do you think killed him? Jesse, I don't know. Jack pulled a web and broke it and crystal shards were flying in both directions of left and right and ready to skewer us. Me, everyone stay close. I encase us in a force field bubble and we ran into the room and the crystals were bouncing off the force field. We got out of the room and slipped on some rocks and fell into a tall room that had sharp stalagmites and we spread our wings and grabbed Jack and Jesse. Me, that was close. Lincoln, yeah but look. More warriors. Some skulls and skeletons were impaled on the stalagmites. We go over to a structure that was slamming teeth and we had to time it right. We jumped through and got through it all. We went down another tall room and it had a deathworm-like machine and we cut all the teeth. We were in the very core of the mountain and lava poured into the room and we ran and saw numerous rock platforms in a lake of lava. We flew over to an island in the lake and a rock figure arose and it woke up. He formed a mace made of rock and crystal. Lava monster, welcome to your doom. We stood ready. Jack, many warriors have been lured here to their end. Me, why have you done this? Lava monster, my purpose is to battle. The lava monster swung his mace at us and we dodged and we slashed him and he screamed and lava poured out of his body. Lava monster? Yes. At last, after all these years, a worthy opponent. Me, you've been cursed, haven't you? Lava monster, how did you know that? Me, I guessed, and I have a feeling that something happened to you that led you to be down here for a long time. Lava monster, you are correct. Sakura, tell us what happened. The lava monster fired a beam of light at the ground and a rock tablet formed and there were Viking runes on it. Lava monster, I have engraved a recording of my past so that I would not forget the life I had. The man I was. So that thy people would not be lost to the dust of time. Let me take thee all on a journey into the past. The lava monster told us his story. He was a man that lived back 9,000 years ago in the age of the Vikings. A magnificent kingdom thrived in the countryside and it was prosperous. He lived with a loving family with a wife, 2 sons, and a faithful dog. Game was very plentiful and it's what made the kingdom prosper. One day it was on a return from a victorious hunting trip when an omen appeared. A solar eclipse happened and it enveloped the whole sky. Just as we had suspected, it was in fact Aku that appeared in the man's kingdom and he attacked. The kingdom tried everything to fight back but all their efforts were futile and they all perished. The man tried to face Aku himself but it was useless and Aku dealt the man a fate worse than death. He imprisoned him within an unbreakable crystal. He watched in sheer helplessness and horror as Aku completely destroyed his kingdom and murdered everyone. Then Aku came at him again and picked him up and took him to a mountain. It was the mountain we were in and Aku thrusted the man into the very core of the mountain. The man laid still for 9,000 years, never to rejoin everyone he loves in Valhalla. But he somehow found a way to manipulate the rock around him and he formed the body that we saw him in and he created a passage full of peril and danger that only the greatest of warriors can pass and the only way to get to Valhalla is to fall in battle to another warrior. Lava monster, and thou are the only ones to survive. Phew, that is horrible. Sakura, Aku, you are a menace to the entire universe. Naruto, we know how you feel. My best friend Sasuke lost his entire family at the hands of his older brother Itachi and Sasuke was completely obsessed with wanting revenge. Me, but we helped him by revealing the truth. Lava monster, that's good, and as written the truth has been told. My fate is at your mercy. Me, let's help him, guys. All, yet. Jack, prepare yourself. Me, let's do this. The lava monster formed a sword of crystal. Lava monster, at last. The gates of Valhalla opened to me. We clashed and demonstrated our sword skills until Jesse got the drop on him and punched the crystal in his body and shattered it. Lava monster, after all these years my freedom has arrived. He started glowing in a blinding light. Lava monster, accursed monster. Your spell is broken. He was totally enveloped in the light and he was free. He was fully restored as a man once again for the first time in 9,000 years. Man, we all gasped in sheer astonishment. Man, I am free. Me, wow. Very, he's free. Man, yes. At last my flesh is restored. Suddenly he was aging rapidly. Man, wheezing, the curse is lifted. He dropped his sword and fell to the ground and we went to him. Me, warrior. Jack, I. Man, don't worry my friends. You all fought valiantly. Jesse, you deserve to have my sword. You are a brave fighter. Jesse, thank you. Man, thank you. All of you. And he died. A bright light shined on him and out of it came the Valkyries on their horses and they picked the warrior up and rode back up to Valhalla. He smiled at us one last time and we gave him the thumbs up. Man, thank you brave 12. Thank you. Me, you're welcome. Jesse took the man's sword and I infused it with fire magic as well as the same powers as Jack's sword. I then carved the word free into the stone tablet and a picture of him being happy was on it too. We left the mountain and the man was looking down on us with the gods of Valhalla. Continues in part 8.